cuando manejaste desacatado. El party empezaba, vamos a dar el gas.
Vai sentar. A dona do shake boom, eu jogo e você tá zoom. Vou bagunçando a tua mente porque me gusta dela gente. Eu vou sentando, vou sentando, vou sentando.
Hi, Ezekiel. You're brother of Patrick, right? Okay, we're sorry to tell you that he has been through a terrible accident and he's in vegetal state right now.
Oye, pero... Oye...
I am the nurse. I need to talk to you. So he decided in his personal documents that he didn't want to be subjected in medical treatment.
That's not fair.
It's his decision. You can't take this decision for him.
No.
Mercy death remains to an intricate and polarizing topic, encapsulating deeply held beliefs, ethical principles, and individual rights. While proponents emphasize personal autonomy and the relief of unbearable suffering, opponents underline the protection of vulnerable individuals and the preservation of sanctity of life. It is imperative for society to engage in open, empathetic dialogue to navigate this complex terrain, considering the diverse perspectives and implications involved. Ultimately, addressing the challenges surrounding mercy death should involve a comprehensive approach that combines compassionate end-of-life care, improved palliative services, and the careful consideration of ethical principles to promote the well-being and dignity of those facing the end of life. Many patients, like the one we saw before, when they are in a vegetable state or they can move their body and only talk, tend to end their life with mercy death because they don't see the reason of living if they can do anything that they love or anything that we need to do every day, because they can even move to the bathroom, so someone needs to help them, and some of them can even eat by themselves, so they always need help, and they see that boring and tend to end their life and to end that suffer, because they are always suffering and because they can do anything and maybe they are in pain.
Hi, my name is Valeria and I'm the doctor who assisted the patient to go through assisted suicide or mercy death. This is because they're living with a terminal illness or a chronic disease and they cannot commit suicide by themselves, so they tend to ask another person or medical assistance to help them with this. This is a decision that is very personal and very hard to take, so that's why it should be respected as much as possible, because in this case the person is living in constant pain or suffering a lot, and this can also be considered as torture, and that's why it should be ended in a peaceful way. But even though this decision is very personal and very important for the person, this is not allowed in most parts of the world. It is only legal to commit in most of the US states, with the exception of Montana, Oregon, Vermont, and Washington. I think we all have a different opinion about this. My opinion is that this should be legal because, as I said, the person is going through a lot of pain, and if they cannot solve this in another way, they should end it if they want to.
Euthanasia began in ancient Greece, and it was seen as an act of solidarity for people in conditions of suffering or disability. Years ago, this procedure was carried out with a plant called hemlock. It causes a paralysis in the nervous system, making people die from seizures. Euthanasia is related to the philosophers Socrates, Plato, and Marco Aurelius. All of them were defenders of this practice in the face of painful diseases. On the contrary, Hippocrates disagreed, since he, seen from a medical point of view, it goes against the Hippocratic oath. The Roman Emperor Caesar Augustus was one of the first to use the term euthanasia, referring to the desire for a quick and painless death. During the Middle Ages, this treatment was considered a sin, but finally it was legal in England in 1935 with the creation of the Association for the Euthanasia legislation. Then, in the United States in 1938, the Euthanasia Society of America Foundation was created. With the time, more and more organizations were created for Euthanasia Educational Fund, leaving us in the present where it is legal in 70 countries.
Protecting vulnerable individuals. One of the main concerns opposing mercy death revolves around protecting vulnerable individuals, such as the elderly, disabled, or those with mental health conditions. The sanctity of life and medical ethics. Opponents of mercy death often cite religious, moral, and ethical principles centered on the sanctity of life. Alternatives and improving end-of-life care. Critics of mercy death emphasize the importance of developing and expanding alternative options for individuals facing unbearable suffering at the end of life. They argue that more resources and research should be dedicated to improving palliative care and pain management, ensuring that individuals receive comprehensive support to enhance their quality of life during their final stages.
This subject touches upon deeply held beliefs, ethical principles, and individual rights. On one side, proponents emphasize the importance of personal autonomy and the relief of unbearable suffering. On the other side, opponents stress the protection of vulnerable individuals and the preservation of the sanctity of life. In order to navigate this complex terrain, it is crucial for society to engage in open and empathetic dialogue. We must carefully consider the diverse perspectives and implications involved. This will enable us to approach the challenges surrounding mercy death with thoughtfulness and understanding. To address these challenges, a comprehensive approach is necessary. We should focus on compassionate end-of-life care and ensure that individuals facing the end of life receive the support they need. This includes improved palliative services and the priorities, pain management, and emotional well-being. Additionally, it is essential to take the ethical principles into account. We must promote the well-being and dignity of those who are confronting the end of life. By doing so, we can create a framework that allows for a compassionate and respectful approach to mercy death. In conclusion, mercy death remains a complex and sensitive issue. It demands our attention and calls for a balanced and comprehensive response. By engaging an open dialogue, considering diverse perspectives, and implementing a comprehensive approach, we can strive to navigate this challenging topic with empathy and respect.